Part of the stuff that we worked on was really lifestyle kinds of things. Made a lot of changes in that area too, in that you just did the El Camino in Spain, right?
Yes, I did. And oh my God, that was one of the highlights of my life. I'd say that since we did that work, that I've been more regular with my exercise, and I have have diabetes, but that's under control with diet and exercise. I have high blood pressure, that's under control with exercise. So exercise has become part of my life. It's like I have to do it because being in my 60s, there's an awareness that I will get sick if I don't, So it's become really important. And then for reasons that that are kind of pretty complex even for me to understand, I got it into my head to walk this 800-kilometre pilgrimage in Spain. And, that took a lot of preparation leading up to that. So I had 6 months of working with a trainer to get my fitness levels up, because the walk does take in some mountainous parts of Spain. So there's a bit of uphill climbing, and I averaged, in doing this walk, I averaged 20 kilometres a day, and some of that being pretty difficult climbing, sometimes in really hot conditions. So, yeah, I had from January through to mid-September, when I finished the Camino, of just becoming fitter and fitter and fitter. And I mean, I'm still in pretty good I'm still, pretty fit, not as fantastic as I was when I first finished the Camino, but it's like I can walk up a hill now without any trouble, And so that was a wonderful thing to do. I loved it so much. I loved the physical exercise, but I also loved the opportunity to be doing something on my own where I really got to test my own limits.
It's important, isn't it, to be able to feel that you can do things that you didn't really realize that you could, I think.
So, yeah, that's right. To challenge yourself, it makes you feel really good about yourself. I'm very proud of myself.
Well, you should be, yes. And great photographer. She took some absolutely beautiful photos too, which has nothing to do with anything, but I just thought I'd throw that in. Another part of what you went through was that you realized that you kind of had to negotiate all of this with your partner. And because if you were going to change that much, if you were going to do all of these new things, obviously a long-term partner is going to be part of it. So how did that work out for you? Did the retirement coaching help at all with that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how all that panned out. Part of the work that I did was to really hone in on wanting to move to the coast, and that was my big plan, that I was going to move to the coast and set up a business, and so that involved talking to my partner, who tends to be a far more cautious person than myself. He really likes to mull things over, doesn't sort of take to change as easily as I do. So, there was quite a lot of, as you say, negotiating there. And, but, he started to come around because, let's just say that I could be very persuasive. And so he came around to the idea of moving to the coast. So that was it. We started telling all of our friends that we were leaving Armidale, we were going to move to the coast, and then one night we went to a party, and it was at a friend's house who lived out of town. And after the party, I said, maybe we don't need to move to the coast. Maybe we just need to get out of town. So that became a little detour that we took. And so we moved out of town, decided we really liked it. And so for the last 3 years, we shelved the plans to move to the coast. And then when I was in Spain last year, my partner was he stayed in Australia, but he spent a couple of months down at the beach, and it was during that time that he wrote to me and said, Jenny, I really love it down here. Let's go back to our original plan and move to the coast. So I went, okay. Yep, that sounds like a plan to me. And I like the idea that we're adventurous, and we may be getting older, but we're not going to just keep doing things because we've always done them. And the Camino had definitely tapped into my sense of adventure. So I thought, yep, it's what I've wanted to do for a long time. He's keen, so let's do it. And that's that's what we've done. We haven't sold our house in the country. We've rented it because we're going to give it a year and check it out. See how we like it. And that's why we find ourselves in this position now, looking for somewhere to rent for a year. Because it's like putting our toe in the water to see if we like it.
Mm-hmm.
So the negotiation was, it wasn't too difficult. Chris and I get on really well together, and we can, talk about stuff quite easily together. And it's taken a few years, but we're here. I've made it to the coast, and that was one of the things that came out of my work with you in the preparation for retirement program that we did.
Okay, but I think it's a good point, which is, yes, you can make a plan and you can put in all the logistics about when you want to do this and when you want to do that. But you also can be open to, I think we want to change this right now, because we found something that might be a better thing to do, or we just want to try this. And I think that that's also important out of the process, is that, yes, you will come up with a plan, but it may change over time, and but you still have that basis of what you want to do, and you can go forward.
That's right. It's like a broad guide. You've narrowed it down to these are the sorts of things and the type of direction I want to go in. But life brings things to you, and life brought to me a couple of people who came and visited us and talked about the Camino, and 6 months later I was doing it. So, I think you're right that it's so important to kind of be open to possibilities and to adventure, and that's how I see it, that I like to have in mind what I want to do, like a general plan. But more and more I have this sense that life kind of, if you pay attention and be aware of opportunities that arise, and things that sort of just come across your path, if you're open, then life can lead you in interesting directions too. So it's a bit of both, bit of planning, bit of openness to possibilities.
All right. Okay, well, Jenny, I love talking to you. you've been you've done so much in what, 3, 4, 5 years. It's kind of amazing. Bought a house, moved to the coast, went on the El Camino, started your business. I mean, gone down to
Yeah, well, and also opened a
part-time.
shop in that time. You know, I
Yes.
had a shop for a year, which, you know, I learned that I don't really want to be a shopkeeper, but, you know, still it's like, wow, that there's no doubt in my mind that point in my life where I did that work with you did set me off in a new direction in a lot of and I mean that in a lot of ways, like attitudinally, you know, with the focus, with more self-belief. It was a very powerful process.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Okay. Well, if any of you now, like Jenny said, she's a bit betwixt and between, but if any of you would like to talk to her about her healing, it's called Deep Space Healing, and her phone number is 0457-723-265. And I'm sure she'd love to talk to you.
And just one thing on that, Stephanie, I do energy work remotely. So even if you're in another part of the world, I can still work with you. As you know, because I've done remote work with you.
That's true. That's true. I don't believe in what Jenny says, but Jenny does. But it always works on me. So I'm in a very conflicted point of view on that. You know, she has solved something that no one else has been able to solve on my body. So she's really, really intuitive and really, really good at what she does. I don't understand it, but it works. That's
such a great thing coming from a science person. I don't know how it works, but it does. So yeah, thanks for that.
I really don't. So thank you, Jenny. I appreciate so much you sharing your journey with us. It's always nice to know that when you've done something, you've made a difference in someone else's life. And I think you worked really hard throughout the coaching, and you've taken it. And I'm really glad to hear that you're really, really happy now.
Yeah.
And that part of it is due to the work that you did. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Stephanie.